What's up everyone, OJ here, welcome back to another video. Today we are celebrating the anniversary, the 2-year anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Nintendo Switch. This game came out on December 1st, 2017, the launch year of the Nintendo Switch, and blew so many people away that the game was not delayed from its original projection of late 2017, considering how many times Xenoblade Chronicles X was delayed on the Wii U. And even if you look at Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, how that got pushed 2 years after the original release in Japan for the game. So people were absolutely shocked by that, but I kind of wanted to break down my own thoughts about the 2-year anniversary, the reveal, build up, what I loved about the game, what I didn't like so much, what's next for Monolith. I'm going to go over all of that in a video, and of course I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on the 2-year anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 if you did enjoy the game or you played the game, however you feel. So let's go ahead and get right into it, guys, and let's start off with the reveal and the build up. So back in January of 2017, Nintendo had their big presentation for the Nintendo Switch to kind of talk about the price, the features, what you're going to get, the games and all of that. And there was a game that completely caught everyone by surprise, myself included, and that was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Considering that we just got Xenoblade Chronicles X in 2015 on the Wii U, I was thinking there's no way in a year and 1 month or so, whatever, because we got it late in 2015 for the West. There was no way that they're already going to have another Xenoblade game ready to show off. But no, it was right there, and I kind of freaked out at that presentation. I was so hyped about it because it's a huge RPG, and it's supposedly coming in the first year. Nintendo pretty much changed completely when it comes to home systems, right? They were never really big on getting RPGs out early, but this time they got that done. So it just completely caught me by surprise. And on top of that, the world was huge and it was beautiful. And it seemed like they were taking what they did with Xenoblade Chronicles X and kind of mixing that with the original Xenoblade Chronicles in terms of the gameplay, but then adding in their own little element to it. It looked great. The characters looked cool. The story looked amazing even from that point. So the reveal was amazing. The reveal was really good, and I love how they dropped that trailer on us. Now let's talk about the build-up, kind of heading into it. We didn't really hear too much about the game, just little things here and there, but then at E3 we got a huge blowout on the game in terms of what we can expect from the worlds and the characters and everything, and also graphics improvements as well. So they did some retouching on some of the characters, so it was great to see. The build-up was really good, but then the build-up even got better. But then it got to the point to where I was literally covering the game almost every single day because they showed off the new blade system in the game, which we're gonna get to in terms of stuff that I liked and didn't like. But they showed off like new blades every single day or every single week or whatever it was. A couple times they would show off different blades leading up to the release, so new rare blades and kind of what they can do, or just basically them fighting for a bit. So it was really cool to see all those different blades and kind of what they can do and how you'd be able to harness their power. Now we did know a bit about the blade system and kind of what was going down, but we didn't know everything about it. But to see the different characters that they kind of put in, to see all the guest artists that they had from different places, it was amazing. And then to also hear that this game was made by around 40 to 50 people using the Xenoblade Chronicles X engine from the Wii U and everything, and then just getting a little bit of outside help because they already had the base built, was very impressive to see. And Monolith Soft, they know how to make these big open RPGs. That's just what they do really well, considering Xenoblade Chronicles X, and now Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So really cool to see all of that with the build up and the hype leading into the launch of the game. Now when the game did drop, oh my gosh, there were so many things that I loved about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that, and then we'll talk about the stuff that I didn't. But there were so many things. First of all, one, I thought the game's style was phenomenal. The graphics in the game necessarily aren't like the greatest graphics ever, but the style was really good, and it was very visually pleasing, at least to me. Now, there was some issues with portable mode or handheld mode at the beginning, which we'll talk about that once again. But overall, when you're playing docked on the TV, it looked great, it played great, and it was a ton of fun just to see the different various art in the game. That's one of the first things that struck me about it. Not necessarily like polygons and all that, but just the art in the game was really good. The enemy designs were really cool. The level and the terrain and what they did with all of the different titans was also awesome as well. And the combat, of course. The combat, I love what they did with the combat in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because what makes it, to me, more engaging is the fact that you can do more of the blade combos, right? More of the blade combos to where not only can you break and then topple, you can launch and then you can smash them down to the ground. You have different blades that have affinities with elements. So it has a bit of a Pokemon feel to it. Okay, I'm going to collect this blade, going to match it up with this blade. We're going to do this combo to get to this, and then we get this effect. So there were so many layers of depth that when I first played the game, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, okay, I've got to do this, because there were so many new mechanics into the game, and it was kind of confusing because there wasn't the best tutorial. You actually had to buy the tutorial, like, so you'd go to certain people that would sell you information, and then they might have a piece or they might have some stuff to where you can buy, which was just, why would you do that in a game? Like, why would you make it buy the tutorial, or not necessarily the tutorial, but buy information in terms of how to play the game? So they fixed that with Torn of the Golden Country, but with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, man, I just loved that necessarily there wasn't really hand-holding, right? You kind of had to look and experiment and figure things out, and when you did, it was really gratifying. It was really fun. And on top of that, like, all the different type of, like, let's say like aux cores, how they did that, how they did basically equipping your blades, how the leveling worked in the game. There were so many new things that was put in. It really just caught me by surprise, but it was also super fun. And not to spoil anything, I know it's already been 2 years, but the story to me was the best story out of all the different Xenoblade games. I love Xenoblade Chronicles 2 story the most. Pyra, Mithra, everything there with Nia, how everything works. Malos, oh my gosh, it's just so good. Jin and everything. That to me is one of the best things about the game, because it really does have a lot of cool characters. It has the anti-hero, it has like everything that you would want, right? It kind of has like the villains, the clear villains, kind of has like the crazy people. It has just everything. It has the person that you think is like, oh, he's maybe good, but you know he's bad. You know, it just had everything. So to me, that story really caught me. Like, you know, it was just really good. It was just a really good story that I felt that a lot of people thought maybe wouldn't be good based off of Xenoblade Chronicles X and kind of how that story shook down. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they definitely improved a lot in that aspect. So I was very happy with that, with the combat, with the gameplay, of course, with the story. All of that was really good. The aesthetics, everything was cool. Now, some of the stuff that I didn't like, to me, really, it's the blade system when it comes to opening core crystals. It's the core crystal system. The blades themselves are fine, because Torn of the Golden Country, that has a blade system, but there's not opening core crystals and getting a bunch of random blades. So to me, the whole Merc mission plus core crystal stuff, and then, hey, this is what you use all these blades for, was an issue. And on top of that, there wasn't the best in terms of quality of life stuff, being able to sort certain blades, being able to find certain ones with different abilities. All that stuff wasn't in there from day one. On top of the map system and everything not necessarily being the best, maybe sometimes getting lost, having to do certain things. So all of that came in updates. So if you were day one on there, there was definitely issues with all the different random cores that you were getting. You were kind of opening sometimes rare core crystals or legendary core crystals, and you weren't getting anything. You weren't getting like blades that you wanted, like in terms of rare blades. They really should have taken that system and said, okay, we're not gonna do like this whole core crystal thing and Merc mission thing. Let's go ahead and let's do more something like you get like missions, right? And then maybe you find like a really legendary core crystal, then you open it from there. It really shouldn't have been so much to where it's like you're just opening core crystals, get a 5 billion, you know, random blades or common blades. That's just not fun. That's just wasn't fun at all. So that's probably the thing that I disliked the most about the game. But the blades themselves, in terms of the rare blades and fighting and how they use the elements and the blade combos and all that, that's actually phenomenal. Just the core crystal thing, get rid of that, and that would have been better. And they did that in Torn of the Golden Country, and the combat is absolutely phenomenal in that game. Now, what's next for Monolith Soft? What's next? Everyone wants to know in terms of what they're working on. Well, 2020, we do have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is a complete remake, not a remaster or HD porting or whatever people are trying to sit here and say the game is. It is a remake of the original Xenoblade Chronicles from the Wii, which desperately needed a remake based on the hardware that it was on and kind of how it looks and that world. It's such a beautiful and great world, and I'm very excited to get the full game, okay, the full game, and what seems like extra content that was cut out to get the full game, because that game is already a super high rated game. It's already what some people consider the best Xenoblade or Monolith Soft's best work, right? It's already super good, and they're going to make it even better with all of the content. This should be an easy contender for Game of the Year. It should be an easy contender for Game of the Year if you like to put remakes in there. Should definitely be that, considering the first game is still really good to this day when it comes to Japanese action RPGs. So I'm really excited to see what updates, improvements, and how they make a really, really good game even better. So looking forward to that. And then we also have I would not say rumors, but just more of like the thought process that Monolith Soft does have a brand new IP that they're working on, because we got that art a bit ago and everything. They have multiple different teams, so they do have that cooking. So I wonder when we'll see that. I'm guessing that Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition will come out around the anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles, so summer or so. So maybe we get both. Maybe we get that game and then we get another one, a second helping of Monolith Soft at the end of the year, or maybe they wait till the following year to get that done in terms of their new game that they're working on, because it probably is going to take a lot of time. We heard about that, I think, in 2018 or so, or something like that. We heard about that game, so it might take a little bit more time to get that game done, depending on how big of a scale it is and what they're doing in the first place. But whatever it is, I'm excited. 2020, I'm excited for Monolith Soft. I'm excited for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Obviously, I've played all the content in terms of what they've given us. Well, I'm still getting through the content in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Just got Cosmos, so that was crazy. And I've played through Torna, beaten all of that. So I'm a big fan, and I'm looking forward to more from the studio, because they are really one of the best out there, especially making RPGs. So what are you guys' thoughts on the 2-year anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and what do you think overall for Monolith Soft's future? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.